Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton and I am now starting the Winter Major Pro Division. This is going to cover holes number 1, 2, and 3. You can see here I'm off to a -6 start, so I'm pretty pumped up about that. I do have the replays here that will get you a -7, so eagle, hole-in-one, and an albatross. Unfortunately, I hit the hole-in-one on hole number 2 twice in practice mode once I found the setup that I liked. But then, of course, I go to real mode. I hit a great shot on one account, and then I do a 360 roll on the cup on this account. So at least we know that with 2 hole-in-ones and a roll around the cup, the shot should be pretty consistent. All right, let's go ahead and head here to the replays. So when it comes to pro, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you shots with all free-to-play balls as I normally do. I did play hole number 1 and hole number 3 with the Kingmaker and a King Slayer, so I have multiple replays to show everybody here. I'll start off with the King Slayer, so if you've had any pro success, you might have some of these in your bag. We're going to go with as much top spin as possible, combined with as much side spin to the right as possible. We will favor the top spin because we would like to get as high up on the fairway as possible. I do start my shot, depending on the wind, anywhere from the +2 to the +5 yard mark. That way when I go to adjust my shot, I'm not pulling into overpower, which gives me a perfect adjustment. Here I do go with overpower, and that is max curl to the right. So plenty of OP with max curl to the right. I did pull it 10% at max. You can see here that I do encounter that nice fairway roll, which gets me really close to the hole for shot number 2. Now, this shot is slider dependent, so you're going to play at 20% at mid with the Endbringer rule. I don't remember 100%, but I think I played this one around 60% slider. I would normally put the slider on the graphic, but then people start to just play that slider and don't look at their yardage, and typically that leads to a lot of negative feedback. I mean, it's not really my fault, you know. I mean, just check your own distance and do the best that you can. This is a no spin shot, and we hit a perfect ball, and we go into the cup. Now, if you don't have King Slayers, don't worry. I got you covered here on the Kingmaker as well. So here is the exact same shot with the Kingmaker. You can see here the wind is pretty beefed up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go with as much top spin as possible, combined with as much right side spin as possible, favoring the top spin. You can do this drive with a big topper, you know, obviously a high-level Thor's hammer, extra mile 9, whatever club that you think you can get the most rollout with and the most yards with is what you want to do. Now here you see I didn't start back enough on my plus yardage, so I did have to pull into overpower, but that's okay. I went with tons of OP again, max curl to the right, even hit a minor great right here and still got away with it, so that was nice to see. Now, what you will notice here is I did not get that fairway roll. I did stop here pretty short of the fringe area, which is going to leave me for a longer distance shot here on shot number 2. So I think on this one here, I played it like right around, it was either, I think I played it 80% slider, something like that. Then you'll see the second shot, as I barely missed this one to the left-hand side. So, you know, my recommendation here is you can see the green slopes from right to left. So when that ball starts to roll, it starts to go towards the left-hand side of the cup. If you do land in this area, I think it would be best if you put 1 bar of side spin to the right on your ball. So I would do the same type of elevation pull, the Endbringer rule, but I would go 1 bar of side spin to the right if this is the area that you land on, because you see here, the ball just takes off to the left-hand side and we barely burn the edge of the cup. So that's hole number 1, 2 different ways. Hole number 2, I'm just going to show you one replay here, even though I picked it up twice. I'll show you this replay because this is the highest wind you can get. 3 bars of top spin, 1 bar of side spin to the left. Then I'm going to show you the landing position on what we're looking for. We're going to be looking for our white ring right up on the rough line. Most importantly, though, we're looking for the bounce of the green squares. And the green squares are pretty easy to see here, especially when I zoom in like that. So take a look at where the cup is, the hole. The hole is located in the vertical light green rows. To the right of that is the dark green vertical rows. Look how my ball guideline is right in the middle of the light green and the dark green, kind of where the squares would connect. That's what I'm looking for. Pretty easy to find. Now, of course, when it comes to this type of rollout, right, the target is very far away from the hole. It doesn't just mean just because you find that spot and you make the right pull that you're going to make the hole in one 100% of the time. The game just doesn't work that way. It's not that easy, but some of you will get it. I hope the majority of you get it. You can see this ball does come in very nicely, hits the pin, and drops in for the hole in one on hole number 2. This is going to take us to hole number 3. Again, hole number 3, I'll show you 2 different balls that you can play with. I'll show you the Kingmaker, and then I'll show you the Kingslayer. You might be wondering, why am I using Kingslayers? It's because of this. I don't have a lot of Kingmakers left. And when I go to practice these shots, I don't have enough balls to use Kingmakers on practice and then play the round with it. So I'm doing Kingmakers on practice and then bringing Kingslayers to the real shot, of course, because it does give us that extra wind resistance. I don't really ever use the extra power, though, or the extra side spin, I should say. There is no extra power. Okay, you're going to use your APOC. Here, I went with 5 bars of top spin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. You might be asking, why didn't I use more top spin? Well, it's because I'm trying to make this as relative to all APOC players. I do have the APOC level 6. I do understand that is high for Pro Division. I just got excited and I upgraded it whenever I got to the next level because it takes years to get this high, it feels like. So, it is what it is. But when I do use the APOC in Pro Division, the majority of the times I don't use the benefits of the extra power, the extra top spin, all that kind of stuff. You see here, I set up at the +5 yard mark, yellow ring on the rough, a full ball to curl to the right. Now, if you want to use more top spin, by all means, go for it, but you do not have to. This ball comes in really nicely. It leaves us for a really good chance for shot number 2. Shot number 2, we're playing 15% at max. You're going to notice here I'm going about 1.8 bars of side spin to the left, a little bit more than 1 bar of backspin. We are getting tailwind, so I'm leaving the ball guideline a little bit short of the hole and just letting the wind do the work to push me towards the cup. On this shot, you're going to see me roll the pin, okay? So, obviously this one is very close, 5.7 mile per hour wind, definitely low, easy to manage. That shot comes in really nicely with great speed, unfortunately just a tad to the right. I do make my minor adjustments here. We don't really need to see the drive. We've already gone over this, but you see the +5 yard mark, yellow at the rough. Same curl. All right, 348 here. Now, this is 5.1 mile per hour wind, so it's only half a mile per hour less. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and try to duplicate my spins. So anytime I come really close on a shot, I try to duplicate my spins, at least my side spin as much as possible. I do have to use a little bit more backspin here as I got a little bit more yards on my drive. But you see here, again, I'm leaving the ball guideline a little bit short of the hole. I did try to move the end of my ball guideline just a smidge to the left since I missed that last shot to the right. But this is an albatross here. This is holes 1 through 3 of Pro. If you have the ability to be patient, I will be playing the rest of Pro. But I've been playing this game for about 7 hours now today to start off my day. I'm going to take a break for a while. I don't know if I'll play any more Pro today or not, but if I don't, I'll wake up super early on Sunday to get the rest of the content out there to you. I appreciate everybody who watches. Please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. Thanks, everybody.